Each and everyone. Well, of course, today being Friday, we continue with douglAR Radio in Atlantic Studio. And of course, I'll be here taking you through till about 9 p.m. I want to first welcome each and every one of you, our viewers, our listeners, our supporters. And again, we ask that you share it around, because since we have been stopped on the radio, of course, people have been calling day and night and trying to inquire, well, how they would be able to get this message throughout the length and breadth. So I am asking that all of us take that responsibility to have things working and have things moving about, so people can be informed as to what is happening within the political arena. You know, today at Beach Road, Palo Seco, let me just back that up a little bit. They started to do some remedial works on the Beach Road in Palo Seco. That's the road that take you to the beach camp area, where all these bungalows and so on, previously Petroleum being the owner. Now we are hearing that some arrangement in relation to Heritage being the occupier. Of course, we are seeing people from out of the area occupying some of these bungalows. This is something we will have to look into, because my investigation thus far pointed to 3 families who occupy 3 different bungalows within that beach camp area. And thus far, my information pointed that those are families of individuals who previously were not working Petroleum, and today families of individuals who is not employed with Heritage. So this is something that we will have to look into. It's a bit scary in the sense that this facility is manned by Heritage. This facility, of course, Patrick Manning had spent a tremendous amount of our country resources down in beach camp for a retreat a couple years ago. And some of those bungalows, they are top of the line. A matter of fact, I know of a contractor who was given the contract in relation to these 3 bungalows to steam these bungalows out, have all the curtains and enclosure and everything properly well steamed out. A tremendous amount of funds were also spent there. I am yet to find out if that contract came through Heritage or what ministry that contract came from. However, I know the contractor who had done the job in terms of steaming these bungalows and having these bungalows prepared for these 3 different families who are presently, as we speak, they are now the occupiers of these 3 bungalows. And as I said, my information is that these individuals have no connection to Petroleum previously, or no connection to Heritage. So this is something that we will look into. Coming out of that also is, who are these individuals? Are these individuals friends or family of government ministers or high-ranking officials. These is questions that need to be answered. We cannot allow this government to do what they want and to do what they please with state assets. These assets belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So I am going to dig into that within the next coming weeks, right? This is the beach camp area. I am going to dig into that because we need to know who are those individuals who now occupy. I remember that when Rowley closed down Petrotrin, there were persons who were employed with Petrotrin from the staff level who were occupying some of those bungalows in the Palo Seco area. And I remember that one particular family who refused to leave was evicted and thrown out by the side of the road, and all that family belongings was placed at the beginning of Sobo Junction. And I'm speaking about TV, fridge, furniture, clothes, what have you, appliances. Everything was thrown out. And of course, people utilize what they could have utilized. But here it is, we evict ex-Petrotrin workers, and now we are bringing individuals who is not employed with Heritage Petrotrin Paria or Trinidad Holdings Limited. And we have seen now that these highfalutin, and let me just add to this, high-collar people now occupying some of the bungalows within the Palo Seco area. That's Beach Camp, Palo Seco. So we need to find out what is happening. We need to know what is going on. We want to know if these bungalows are being sold, if these bungalows are being leased out, if these bungalows are being handed over to high-ranking financiers of the PNM. We want to know. Those are questions that needs to be answered, because I think people in this country, I think you, the individuals, you more, I feel that you believe that the government is doing us a favor, right? This is the Palo Seco beach that you now see there. This is the Palo Seco beach. This beach, they call it Sobo. That's down to the end. That little camp you're watching there is the little recreation camp to the left when you go in to beach camp, and you hold extreme left. You will come down by this little set up, this little camp here, where entertainment and people used to lime and so on, who were working at Petrotrin. This here is the club. This is the club. To the right-hand side, just behind that sign, there's a swimming pool. There's also a tennis court. That is all that abandoned at this point in time. And that carrot shed they see in there, that is where the Petrotrin Recreation Club in Beach Camp are situated, right? To the front of that, as you go in and you make the first right, you would have come up to the school that was situated in Beach Camp, where all the officials and so on, all the children would have been going to school there. So this is the beach. The line you're seeing across on the far side, that will be the Mang in Venezuela. From where you are, when you come into Beach Camp, you will be able to see all the mangrove in Venezuela. You will see those ships on the outside that deal with bauxite and iron ore and so on. And you can even see the mouths of the river from there. You will see the fishing boat coming, going. You will see other big ships that have been anchored there for years. A matter of fact, there's also a refinery that is anchored outside there in relation to bauxite and so on. So the point I am making, ladies and gentlemen, is who are these individuals that now occupy, right? This was the school that I'm speaking about in Beach Camp, and we are saying that facility is a state-of-the-art facility. That facility is a facility that anybody will want to get their hand on. So we need to find out who are these people. So we want to call on Minister Stuart Young to tell us, to give us some idea as to what is happening in Beach Camp. And I want to share this with you. Coming out of those individuals who occupy those 3 bungalows, what we have seen last week, we have seen road repairs on the Palo Seco Beach Road. We have seen a contractor, I have seen a number of trucks named by the name of Namalco Group of Company. I have seen these trucks, I have seen these excavator and grader, and as we speak, this road work continue. Now, what is kind of shocking about that? This is a road that we have protested. I have led a protest right to the beginning of Dickey Trace Junction by the bridge, and we have protested. We had, I think, was CNC3, Ivan Tulsi, and others came and covered that protest, speaking about the dilapidated condition of the road and the way in which people have to play seesaw and hopscotch in order to get along on that road. And I find it a bit strange that McClashy, who is the Minister of Labor, the sleeping Minister of Labor, will put a big post on Facebook indicating that road works will begin in Palo Seco Settlement, which is Sobo Beach Road, Palo Seco Settlement, and this work will continue. All right. So we protested. Let's just say that McClashy listened to that protest. Let's just say that. But I find it a bit strange as to these individuals who occupy these bungalows, and all we have protested for this road to be fixed, and McClashy and the government refuse to fix that road. While we welcome the fixing of the road now, while we understand that there is an election in the air, while we understand that you cannot fool us, but we are curious, we are quite curious as to why these families occupying these bungalows in Beach Camp. And now we have in the Beach Camp Road being repaired. I think that's a cause for concern. That is one. Two, I personally went and asked the contractor to drop a few loads of material that they were taken up out of the road. They had the milling machine working and rooting up the top layer, what we commonly call Baba Green, rooting it up. But while that was happening, there's a number of, really, really bad roads in Palo Seco. So I journey and I asked the contractor, I say, sir, would you be able to drop some of these material on these roads where I will ask the villagers to fill these potholes on their own? He said, boss man, we have instruction And the instruction that we have is that the MP and the councillor, they are responsible to tell us where to drop this material. I say, okay. So if you need to get any material to drop on any road, you need to get the councillors and speak to the MP. So while that was so, I saw an individual who I know very well, who is considered to be the eyes for the MP on the ground. So I went to him and I said, my brother, we want to get some material drop on a few roads in this area where the people would be able to patch it. So he said to me, he said, boy, I would try. I can't promise, but I would try. So I said, okay, very well. Try. So sometime later, while I was on the show here on Tuesday, my wife sent a message that the same guy have a truck with material and he want to know where to drop it. So I said to her, tell him drop it anyway, by any hole, let's drop it. So he did so. The villagers get up next morning and started to patch the holes and them immediately. But I'll tell you where I'm going. I will tell you where I'm going. Coming out of that, the villagers called me during the course of the day and they said, well, look, Mr. Roberts, we need about 2 more load in this red road, and then we have Trim Drive, which is another bad road. Then we have the first road to the outside where the corporation had thrown some stones some years ago. And I mean, speaking about roads where children have to come out to go to school, and when rain fall, they have to remove their sneakers and the socks to come out. And if you don't believe me, you come into the beach road and just drive in any road your mind tell you. Any road your mind tell you to drive in, you just drive in. If you don't believe me. Anyhow, so I tell them, well, look, stop the truck and talk to the man. So they stop one of the truck. The guy who I was speaking about wasn't in that truck. But the driver said, look, we can't drop nothing here, boy. All this material have to go San Francisco. San Francisco? I say, you sure? He said, boy, hold on, let me put the phone on speaker and talk to the driver. Now, I and my 2 sons, we were heading to Port of Spain at the particular time. So when he put the phone on speaker, I said, boss man, we want to get 2 loads of material and just drop it in any one of them roads now, boy. We go fix it up and think, boy, people, it's a little children and thing there. He said, boy, boss man, we have instructions, all these material, we have to carry it San Francisco. So I asked one of my people if they could follow the truck and see which part in San Francisco this material go. So I will tell you this much. I will tell you this much. What we know is that the truck entered into the San Francisco area and went onto another road where my friend was not able to go in. This is the protest that I'm speaking about, and this is the road, the same road that I'm speaking about now that is under repair. This is the protest right here. And this is the same road. So if you don't believe me, look at it. This is the same road. This is Beach Road, Palo Seco. This is the protest that I said to you that we led to get this road fixed. And we are glad that it's being repaired, even though it is being repaired by sections. So I'm going to tell you how the repair going. Right where you see me stand up there, they dig up from there, past the corner going wrong. And then they skip out a next piece, and then they dig out a little piece about 20 feet. So it's big patches. That is what they're doing, big patches, but I'm waiting to hear the cost. I'm waiting to hear the cost. And when they finish, I will do a video where you could see the road, you could see the areas that is being paved, and then we will judge together the cost that they're dealing with. But I'm coming back to San Francisco. So what my friend tell me, he say, boy, look, the truck going in a road here, but it have a vehicle. As the truck going in, the vehicle drive across the road, and we can't go in. So we can't actually see where they're going to drop the material. Trinidad and Tobago, you ain't telling me something wrong with that? Why would a van be waiting to block off the entrance when a truck go in with this material that they carting away? The same asphalt that I standing up on, that is where the mill was taken up, and it was, well, you know the machine, it goes straight into the truck tray, and when the truck full, it drive off. Why would a van be waiting to allow the truck to go in and then block the road? So hear what I tell my friend. Call the police. Call the police. And let the police know that a van blocking you from going in this road. So my friend waited there after calling the police for about 15 to 20 minutes. I was told by him, no police came, and then he left. But why would a truck be waiting to block a road, a van, after a truck going to drop off some material? And what happened for that day, ladies and gentlemen? No roads within the community, other than what I said to you, that the person that I spoke with dropped the load. I am telling you, why would you be doing a job in Palo Seco Beach Road, where there's so much roads, number 7 road, number 4 road, so many roads to be fixed? Why would this truck go to the San Francisco area, and all the trucks, a matter of fact, to drop off this material? I would really like somebody to help me to understand what was happening there. Welcome, caller. Caller, you there? All right, caller, I could call back. We lost it there. Why would these material leave in Palo Seco and go in San Francisco? I am going to find out where in San Francisco this material was going, because I have my suspicions, you know. I have my suspicions. I really have my suspicions. But I am an individual like to speak on facts. So I am going to investigate. I am going to look. It's just today I didn't have time. I had some serious runs to make today. Otherwise, I would have been patrolling in San Francisco. And I just hope that all those truckloads of material didn't go where I suspect it went. I only hope that these material did not go in San Francisco where I am suspecting that these truckloads of material went. But you see, then again, finding where the material go is not the problem, but what will come out of it? Absolutely nothing. You know why? Because we allow that to happen. Let me tell you this. Them fellas wanted to block the road. Block them material from going out. I said, don't do that. All you know why? Because the whole story would have changed. You know what would have been the story? We doesn't want progress. We want to make the P&M look bad. And here it is, the fixing the road. And Victor Roberts and the people decide to block the road so we can fix the road. That is the story that I be hearing. That is why I tell them, don't block the road, let them move the material. Welcome, caller. That is why I tell them that. Don't block the road, because they would have changed wrong this whole story. The one that tell you that they were moving the material out from Palacico to carrying it and carrying it San Francisco, you know.
Well, this here is San Francisco, so we could probably call MP Tanku and see if the material really went to fix those roads, or
well, that is a good idea.
In a P&M stronghold.
That is a good idea. We could probably call MP Tanku and find out, because we don't know if it was an arrangement between McClashy and he decided to fix a road for MP Tanku. So I think we could probably find out. I think we could make a call and probably find out that. That is very important to find out, because I know for sure a road would not be fixing in San Francisco without MP Tanku knowing. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Robert.
Good day.
If you want to know where the material went, just call AV Drilling, man.
Thank you, caller. And this is something that we have to find out. We have to find out, because we have so much bad roads in Palacico that need fixing. So many roads. How could you be taking the material from here and going quite into San Francisco? And let me tell you something, you know. I know how this government continue to discriminate. I know how this government is serious about geographical discrimination. So what I'm trying to tell you, I know this government ain't taking up no material from down in Palacico and carry it to fix no road in what you consider a UNC constituency. Let me face the facts. No government ain't taking up, this government not taking up that material, because you know I realize it seems as though that material that they're taking up the road is not even belongs to the people. It seems as though that is P&M material. And P&M material will go by the P&M partner and the P&M friends, and it might footy well go by the P&M financiers. I don't know. Probably a drop in San Francisco and the next truck will take it and carry it to go Martin. I don't know. But what madness is this? Welcome, caller.
Yes, good evening, Victor.
Good day.
This country only running on lies. One set of lies this country running on. People know the truth, but they don't want to talk the truth. And that is a sin. You know very well that is a lie, and you still want to say it's true. That is a sin. There's a sin unto death and one not unto death.
Correct.
With all the ministers and them in the cabinet only picking up for this man and lying. The lawyers lying, the pastors, the priests, all of them lying. The people are not picking up for this man and lying.
Correct.
They don't want to save their own soul. Why they telling all them lies? So they prefer to lie for a man and go to hell for him. Have a good evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And this is, I just vex. I had to go to Port of Spain, you know. Because if I didn't have to go to Port of Spain, I would have been showing a video right now where that material went. I would have been showing a video right now. I would have been showing a video following the truck from Palo Seco straight to San Francisco. I would have been showing that video here this evening. And this is the kind of nepotism that is taking place. This is what people support in this country. This is the dangerous precedent that this government set, that they do what they want, they do whatever they want, and nobody, absolutely nobody, cannot contest what they do. And the reason why we cannot contest what they do is simply because of the Cosa Nostra. There is people in every area. So let's say tomorrow I go and I find that material where I suspect it went. What is the next step? All you understand what I'm saying? What is the next step? The police will tell you they can't do anything unless a report was made. And if I go to make that report, they want to know if that material was mine. But the material is mine as just as well as yours and just as well as every citizen in this country. The material is all of us own. Every one of us. And this is the kind of thing that continue to happen. So we had 3 people occupying 3 bungalows in beach camp. We don't know where they come from. They ain't your color and they ain't my color. Right? They don't have your color and they ain't my color. Where they come from, we don't know. They're not working Paria Heritage. Where they come from? Who put them there? What is the connection? Was these buildings sold? Was it leased out? Was it given away? What? You have no information to get, Cosa Nostra. No information to get. We keep each other secret. We keep each other secret. Who is occupying these bungalows? So we protest. We get on for road. No road. But these people move in. Road fixing. Big publication. Facebook page post by Maclashe. He proud to start the road works in Beach Camp. Palo Seco second settlement. Proud. Really and truly, Maclashe? Really and truly, Maclashe? Maclashe, what you believe, but you feel that people in this country dotish. All you believe that every time an election bell ring, or all you want to fulfill some obligation to all your friend financiers or whoever, all you the government want to give away this building to. All you believe that all you could fix a road and pave a road and paint a white line and footy well, put pavement too for them to exercise. And to the end of the day, all they will come when election come and say, well, look, we fix this road and we do this for you, the people, and we do that, and we care. So these is questions that needs to be answered. I am saying to you tomorrow, please God, I am going to look for that material. I am going to look. So if it is where I believe it is, my advice is the guy excavator, dig a hole and bury it so I can't see it. Because a passing day tomorrow to look for it. A passing in San Francisco tomorrow, please God, to look for the material that come off of my road in Palo Seco. That is what I'm going to do. We can be serious in this country, boy. We can be serious. I tell you, there's only one reason when them fellas say they're going to block the road. I tell them, no, don't do it. Because every media house would have been down there. Every Guardian Express, everybody would have come down. And it would have been the headline story. You see the story say UNC activist Victor Roberts block the paving of the Palo Seco Settlement Road. That would have been the headline in bold. That would have been the headline. You know, everything I do, that does be the statement. UNC activist Victor Roberts. I dropped the Judith Jones report by the UN and the embassy. The papers put up. They ain't put up social activists. They ain't put that, you know. They say UNC activists. That is how they play the game. I went by DL Singh to protest the COVID-19 death, and I carry a box. You know what they put? UNC activists. That is how they play the game. That is how they play the game. But I want to tell them here too, at the same time, I am proud to be a UNC activist. I am proud to be a UNC activist. Not a toilet paper roll for the PNM. Like the newspaper. A toilet paper roll for the PNM. If we did block that material yesterday from leaving down Palo Seco, I am telling you, the headline today would have been UNC activists, Victor Roberts, stop the paving work in Palo Seco. That is what these wicked devils would have put as a headline for you to read. And you know what would be sad? Some of the sycophants would have make a story out of it. The truth, you don't get it in the media. The truth, you don't get it from the government. The truth, you're getting it on Atlantic Studio, you're getting it on Monday Night Forum, you're getting it on douglAR Politics, you're getting it on all UNC press conference. That is where you're getting it. Other than that, you're wasting time in this country. So tomorrow, please God, as we move on, tomorrow, please God, I am going to look for that material. I'm going to look for it. And I guarantee I'm going to find it. Because I feel I know exactly where those several truckloads of material went. And I'm going to do a video and show you the conditions of the road where these children, come the ending of August, where these children will have to prepare to walk out when rain fall, and the condition that they have to walk out in, minus the sneakers and the socks. That is how devilish this administration really are. So I rest that day for now. So my questions is, who are those individuals that occupying those bungalows and beach camp? I will try my best to get some photos. I will try my best. Why say that, you know, they might put about 15 security by the gate. But I will try my best to get some photos. Because you can pass security by the gate, you can't stop the drone from flying. Except if you come and pop a no-fly zone and ban drones from flying in beach camp. So we will get some photos. And you will see how all these bungalows, some of them dilapidated, and you will see how these freshly painted over, how the lawn is kept, how the roads paved and nice. You will see. And I hope when the drone flyer might get some vehicle numbers too. So somebody might say, I know this vehicle from Westmoreland. I know this one from Westmoreland. Somebody might know. That is how the game played. So tomorrow, please God, I'm going to try to find those material. And once I find that material, I'm going to go live right there. So you'll be able to see what we're saying. And I'm also going to show you the paving that took place. And let us see the cost. Let us see what will be the cost of that paving. So I want to switch. I right there by switching over a little bit to this now. I am trying to find out if really and truly a member of parliament have jurisdiction over materials from any infrastructure, any government infrastructure. That is something that I will have to inquire into, because I am still trying to wonder how come the MP or the councillor could give instructions where to drop this and where to drop that. Now, I could show you some photos. I could show you some photos with where drop and where drop and where ain't dropping. But I won't do it for one reason. I won't do it for one reason. And I will tell you the reason why I won't do it. The three persons who I see get a little half load of that same material, I am telling you they deserve it. They really deserve it. So I'm going to leave that for now. But don't frighten, I don't have photos of everything. Anything happening in my area, trust me, if I ain't show it, but I have it. Anything happening in my area. So I will leave that there for now. So let's move on a little bit. I am seeing that Penelope Beckers and Keith Rowley decide to introduce golf. Decide to introduce golf to certain schools. I want to find out today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to really find out what's happening in this country. This Prime Minister, this Keith Rowley, this man have decimated every single form of sporting facility, institution throughout this country. These schools, ladies and gentlemen, apart from the highfalutin, some of these schools, playground, what they minimize is what they left abandoned. Sipara Union Presbyterian or Sipara Presbyterian School, which is commonly called the Union School. On the first layout of that school, state of the art, a L shape, playground, every form of IT room and sick bay and everything state of the art. Rowley come in government 2015. 2016 they stopped the school. They redesigned the school, cut out this, cut out that, cut out the other, leave out this, leave out that. You know why? You try and find out why. Listen to the school, Siparia Union School. I don't know if they cut it out simply because it named Siparia. I don't know if they cut it out because they just don't like the name Siparia. I don't know. But here is Rowley and Beckers. And they're going to promote golf in school. I want to ask Rowley and Beckers, which part in Trinidad and Tobago, that Gulf send our citizens to different parts of this world, even to whether it be to the Olympic or where, from a national basis. I know Trinidad and Tobago is cricket, is football, is basketball. While we have no problem with tennis, because we send people away on a national stage with tennis, you know. You remember the days of Victor St. Louis and these guys and them? You remember names like Dwight York, David Nackett, now Senator, Russell Latapy. You remember these fellas and them? You know names like Pollard and Ganga. You know these fellas and them? Well, give me some of the people, Rowley, that made it on the international stage. And don't tell me about Tiger Woods, you know. That made it on the international stage and earn a living by golf from Trinidad and Tobago. You, Keith Christopher Rowley, I feel that something really wrong with all your brain. Because all you mash up all the sporting fraternity in this country. I remember just a couple of weeks ago, the under-17 basketball women's team couldn't get funding, couldn't get no money, couldn't get nothing to go to a qualifier match. Just a couple weeks ago, I remember we have national team, national players who cannot get money. The Ministry of Sport refused to look after our nationals. But today, Keith Rowley, you telling me that you and Beckers talking about introducing golf to schools or in schools? Boy, something had to be wrong with all you. All you so naive and lack of vision. All you lost touch with the citizens, like that it seems as though that all you believe that we have to follow what Keith Rowley like or what Keith Rowley feel to do. Rowley, we don't care if you like golf. We don't care. We don't care about that. We don't care if Beckers all of a sudden is a big golfer. She can't even hold the club good. But all of a sudden, she's a big golfer. You put a hole and she gave you a high five. And you have all the media and a few children suffering there. Them trying to even understand what's going on there. Them children maybe telling us have a pitch you're playing. You know, long time we used to play 3-hole, they dig 3-hole in the ground and we playing pitch. Them Paul training the hot Sunday while they are suffering. These children and them know about a ball and a bat, Rowley. This children know about a football rowley, 2 upright and a crossbar rowley. This country have produced some of the best in the world. This country have sent sportsmen and women to every quarter with 2 major sports. 2 major sport, it come like a payload. One doesn't go without the other. It's cricket and football. All you mash up velodrome, all you mash up everything. But all of a sudden, all they decide to introduce golf to some schools. Boy, really, I just glad I is a fella who really know and understand what is respect. Because let me tell you something. Boy, I think it really doesn't have no words to describe all this stupidity. I think it really has no word that you could put there to describe all your boy. All you mash up everything in the educational sector. All you mash up sport. You know what made me a goalkeeper, Keith Rowley? Let me tell you what made me a goalkeeper. School football. School football is what make me get called for the national team and couldn't go because my father didn't have the passage to send me PSA or in the stadium on a daily basis. You hear what I'm saying to you? My father could not afford to send me from Santa Flora to Port of Spain every day to train. You hear what I'm telling you, Keith Rowley? So I try to understand what is wrong with all you. I try to understand if it's a case that all you believe that we have to do what all you say. That we must put aside with basic sports where we can earn a living and we could make $1. Whether from the T20 level or whether from test level or one day or what have you, we must put aside what we can earn a living. Dwight York and all these fellas and them earn millions of dollars, Keith Rowley, out of football. Football. If you don't know what that is, it does mark size 5, probably a little bigger than your head, and probably have more sense inside it than yours. Because I can understand you as a prime minister will remove the 2 basic national pride of this country to tell us about golf. Something really wrong with all your boy. Something really wrong with all in this country. I don't know what about we all they don't like, you know. I really don't know what about us all it doesn't like. Because it seems as though every talent that we the people on the ground have, all they trying all their best to cut it out. Every talent we have with a bat and a ball or a foot and a ball, it seems as though all you want to even break that. So all you want to introduce us now to something that you like, something that will take us the next 1,000 years to earn a living by. After you, Keith Rowley, continue to shut down, mash up, send home, break down every form of employment. And I would have thought that Miss Beckers, who parading all over, who cleaning fish, who cutting up this, who walking here, who walking there, and believe that that will give you a prime minister status. Let me tell you something, Miss Beckers. You ain't ready yet. You ain't ready yet. And it's unfortunate that political shame is something that plenty politicians in the PNM do have. Political shame, or they don't have that at all in the PNM. Because all here is a bunch of shameless people in this government that running this country down to the ground, down to the bottom of the pit, and to the end of the day, all you have no shame. All you continue to support the shameless. Rowley will stand up at the side of the shameless Attorney General, the shameless Minister of Youth Development, the shameless Minister of Housing, and the whole team. A bunch of shameless people. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and that is one of the worst thing. The worst human being you could find is a shameless human being. You see, when a man and a woman have no shame, let me tell you something. Boy, you better be prepared to see the unbelievable. You better be prepared to listen the unbelievable. And you better prepared to see the destruction that will come from these shameless people. Welcome, caller.
Good evening to you, Mr. Robert.
Good day, good day.
Mr. Robert, you know why all the guns and all that thing is coming out and so many new things are being put in place by the people? Elections around the corner.
Yep.
We all know why we see certain things, what is happening. But I want to tell you, be very, very careful when you're going to look for the material and make sure you have security, because you know what's going to happen. You know the experience you had.
Yeah.
Because you are the big thorn in the behind. You keep up the good work. God bless you and careful. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Boy, I don't know what to say with this country. I don't know what this country coming to. I don't know why we are allowing this country to go down the drain. Why we are allowing this country to go down the drain. So, Ms. Beckers, I will ask you to use a little common sense. Bring back cricket, football to the schools. Let us get the intercol and so on back up and running. Let us get these things moving. All you want to help with the situation that all you cannot manage, that is what all you have to do. And as on that, let me switch over now to Fitzgerald Hines. Mr. Fitzgerald Hines, I want to ask you here this evening, what is going on with the crime situation in this country? I want to ask you, Hines, what is going on with the amount of murders in this country? It seems as though that no longer and one murder doing the work. Every papers, every station, every social media post, double murder Central, double murder Diego Martin, double murder here, double murder there, double murder everywhere. What is going on, Hines? I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing. I know you're asleep in the parliament, but I'm not hearing you. I ain't hearing your big talk. You 2 keg diesel. The people taking the beat on to throw around the house with the swan where all them maggots and them was swimming. You come on the radio and you say the racial UNC and you speak about how much million in diesel missing. I hear you jump out the other day and you talk about you have information who is paying for these protests over the country. Welcome, caller.
Good morning. Good evening, Victor.
That song like attorney at law.
Yes, sir. How are you, my good friend?
Well, I don't know if you have your golf club and thing ready and you're going to send your kids back to school to play golf.
I don't play golf. It's a sport that's never interested me.
Yes. Good night, Attorney Big.
Anthony,
Victor posed a question earlier. I don't know if you heard it. He wanted to find out whether an MP or a councillor have jurisdiction in determining where road repair materials are allocated within a constituency.
A member of parliament or a councillor, they can make some recommendations of areas that may need some attention, as like it was done in Komodo Manzanilla, where MP Rai would have written the Minister of Works and Transport and indicated that certain roads were in definite need of some fixing. I can tell you when I was COPSEC at 2 corporations.
Let me break down the question for you, Big. Let me break down the question for you. We have a problem in Palo Seco where some road works are being carried out as we speak.
Yeah.
The material from the road, after the first day, the drivers get instruction to take the material to the San Francisco area. And since then, those trucks have been moving out the material that they mill from the road and carrying it somewhere in San Francisco, and they are saying it is by the instructions of the member of parliament.
Well, something is not sounding right there. Something is definitely not sounding right. Because I am certain that those trucks or whoever, whatever they are actually are private contractors, correct?
Yes, a private contractor, and I can tell you the contractor name who doing the job is Namalco.
So the contractor obviously would have been awarded the contract by the ministry that was dealing with those road repairs. So I'm trying to understand why a member of parliament would have a say in that. That's not making any sense there. That is something to raise concern.
Well, I went and asked for some material to drop on 3 roads within the same vicinity that is badly off, and I was told by the contractor representative that he cannot dispatch any material anywhere except it comes from the member of parliament or the immediate councillor for the area.
Again, that's new to me, because if that is so, how come that don't happen in Cuba North? How come that not happening in Siparia? How come that not happening in Oropuch East or West? Why is that not even happening in Komodo Manzanilla? It has to take where MP has to write the line minister and say, hey, so-and-so road is in desperate need of paving. So something is wrong there. I think that's maybe something we can look at. Maybe we can have an off-air discussion on that.
Okay.
Outside of that, and good night, Archie. It's always good to hear you. I wonder if you would permit me. I'm sure you would have heard of that massive ruling by the Privy Council. And I want to say tonight, thank God for the Privy Council. And I will say why. The Privy Council has vindicated not only the United National Congress via our senators and our MPs and our political leader for ensuring the defeat of that bail bill, but it has also vindicated lawyers who are saying that that same bail bill, such as myself, was flawed, it was bad law, it was not worth the paper it was written. And the Privy Council has said it, that it is the court that should determine bail. It is the court that should tell a person yes or no. So in that, I want to commend Senior Counsel Anand Ramlogan and his legal team, because the Constitution is quite clear. Under Section 4, 5, 6 of the Constitution, that a man has a right? And one such right is an application to apply for bail. And that's also under Section 13 of the Constitution.
Right.
And I mean, it is dynamic. And I believe now this is a total defeat for a lackluster Attorney General. So from Anand beaten Paris, he has now beaten Reginald Amo. So I guess we could say Anand infinity against Paris, and now Anand won against Amo. And I can see many more coming. And we must understand that this is not about saying, well, murderers or killers will get jail. No. It is about allowing the right to apply. You understand what I'm saying, Victor?
Right.
It is right to make an application. In fact, I have a few pending now. Right? It allows you to go before the court and let a magistrate say yes or no. If the magistrate say yes, bail granted, or whatever is the bail stipulation, you get it. If the magistrate say no, you have the option of waiting 28 days, or you go to a judge in chamber and make an application to a judge. And if the judge say yes, you get bail. If the judge say no, application fails. Right? And that is what you allow and show that is proper jurisprudence. That is when you show law is working. And you know, you listen to the PNM distractors and the PNM speakers. One thing I will always say is that when we speak with fact.
Correct.
The Achilles Charles case is our defining case. And the case has been determined. So nobody can come now and say, well, some to the sea rule. The matter has been determined via the Privy Council. And this is why I'm saying, the Privy Council must be retained. I shudder to think, yet I cast no aspersion. That you could imagine if we had a CCJ. The CCJ may not have allowed this. Right? So I am saying again, thank God, all praise to God that we still have the Privy Council. The Privy Council needs to stay, it needs to be retained as our final appellant court. Because it shows, because as you will recall, the matter was determined first and bail could have been granted. It was then appealed and the appeal court said no.
Right.
No bail. Then went to the Privy Council. And the Privy Council said yes, we must allow it because it's constitutionally right of a person to make that application. And that's the key word, to make an application. So it's been decades and decades that men have been, and women, Whether they are guilty or not, let that be determined by the court still.
Good.
You understand what I'm saying? Right? But you could but it was always say that it is better for 100 guilty men go free than one innocent man be convicted.
Correct.
Right? So, don't forget our jurisprudence in Trinidad and Tobago. To many it seems as slow, but our jurisprudence is working. And I am happy as a legal practitioner for 11 years. I am so happy as to what was done by Senior Counsel Anand Ramlogan, one of my mentors, the man who made me want to become a lawyer. I am so happy what he has done along with his team. Because like I said, I have some matters over the spending.
So let me ask you this. You don't think Amo may very well be a good mentor also?
Well, to who? Right? This is a man who I still say gave an excuse, right? A frivolous, nonsensical. I don't know what else to use. I mean, yes, he is senior counsel, but because of his actions, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I just can't see you as that anymore. Because you say, well, I forget. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Right? Rubbish. Because as I've always told person, right? Had it been the shoe be on the other foot, and it was anyone else, would they have said, well, okay, we'll accept that I am sorry? Huh? I say no. And it will have to be, it can be one rule for them and one rule for us. And all his friends who came out to support him, I say to you all, shame on you. And I hope when someone comes before you all with that same excuse, don't come and say, well, no, you can't say you're sorry. You can't say, well, you couldn't forget. Then I will say, well, if an attorney general can say so, who is me? Right? It is ridiculous. Reginald Amo needs to go. He needs to go not today, not tomorrow. He needs to go as of yesterday. Right?
Right.
That is a ridiculous thing that happened because the administration of justice needs to be carried out and carried out properly. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, senior counsel. But with all due respect, resign now. You have also embarrassed yourself at the council level. Because you know when this matter came to the parliament, you must never forget that. The matter came to the parliament and discussed. And the way he spoke about the UNC. So, when you're coming to the political dial, as one senior counsel once said to another senior counsel in the parliament, when you come into the parliament, sir, that's nothing like senior counsel here. But when you want to come and throw jab, be prepared to get jab back. So when you go boxing, remember when you go boxing, when you jab, you'll get jab back. Take care. Continue to take the job that you are doing. Artie, always a very good coverage you have been doing as well. Continue the great work, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Big.
We need to discuss that.
Attorney, I ain't want you to go just yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to read something quickly for you, and I want to get your take on it.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'll go in. Cop nab after trying to extort two men he found in a car at Price Plaza, right? A police officer assigned to the Child Protection Unit, I will keep that in mind, right? You hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. A police officer assigned to the Child Protection Unit in Port of Spain is expected to be charged with several offenses regarding an alleged extortion of two men in Chaguanas on Sunday, the 24th of July, 2022. The officer is alleged to have found two men inside a vehicle in a car park at Price Plaza late on Sunday night on the upper car park outside a casino, and requested $5,000 in exchange for them not to be arrested and charged. The two men were escorted to an ATM where 2,500 were withdrawn and handed over to the officer. It is further alleged that the officer asked that he be paid the additional 2,500. An arrangement was made with the men to pay the money on Monday. A report was subsequently made to the police and a sting operation was set up where the remaining 2,500 to be paid to the officer was marked. The officer was subsequently arrested after he collected the money from the men and taken to the Chaguanas police stations. Officers were expected to approach the DPP earlier today to get advice on the charges to be laid against the officer. Now, in light of that, what are your thoughts hearing that an officer who is attached to the Child Protection Unit allegedly soliciting money to let two men in a vehicle, whatever they were doing or wasn't doing, but whatever they were doing, from what we read in here, it was an arrestable offense. But we have an officer who is attached to the Child Protection Unit. In light of all these allegations of abuse with our children in these homes, would you say that something like this is cause for concern, and it should be that officers who are attached to the Child Protection Unit, that they should be subject to some kind of lie detector test, so to ensure, from what we now see here, to ensure transparency, credibility in terms of investigation where our children are being abused. What is your take in light of that?
Well, let me first condemn such act. Because at the end of the day, I remember Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, no matter what division they are in, they take an oath to protect and serve our country,
right,
and our citizens, and to uphold the law, right, and to enforce the law. And hearing this, I remember when the former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gary Griffith, was looking at doing these lie detector tests to special units of the CTPA, right? I can't recall if it was for all of the CTPA. But the Child Protection is a special unit of the CTPA. And I think it should be. And further to that, I shouldn't think, what else has this officer ever done? Especially with this unit he works in, right? Has he ever turned away with a blind eye? Has he ever accepted on other offenses? We don't know. I mean, this is really, really disturbing, very frightening. I shouldn't think as to how many service that man has. I mean, for that, I mean, this officer, so it is people like you is why people want to say such things about the CTPS. Who I think, however, our police officers, who I think do very good work. As you know, they will say one bad apple spoils the bunch, or the basket, or whatever they say. I see no issue with that. I actually supported that idea that Gary Griffith was bringing. Because, like I said, can you imagine what else this officer has done? And the nice thing about it is that these men could have said, well, boy, let me just pay the man and let me go, yes? These men realized, well, no, what this man is doing us is wrong. Whether what they did or what they were doing, right, they realized, hey, what the officer is doing is also wrong.
Right.
So, I hope that he faces the full brunt of the law. And the commissioner, the acting commissioner, has taken as well. So I have never seen an issue with it. Never had seen an issue with it. But let's see how it goes.
All right,
I hope
my
I
brother.
answered.
So thank you for your time, Brian.
Take care.
Blessings. So Trinidad and Tobago, let me hear your thoughts on this subject. We have a member of the Child Protection Unit. And I agree, a police officer, whether you're attached to CID or Task Force or Northeastern Division, whatever. But the Child Protection Unit, the police officers who are attached to this unit, this should be specially selected, screened police officers with a frequent, or for a better word, a regular lie detector test should be going on. Because if you have an officer from that unit, and I don't care what you think or feel, because as far as I am concerned, this will tarnish the whole unit. Jump high, jump low. It will tarnish the whole unit. You see, just like when you catch or you hear a pastor in a church drop the flag or drop the ball or whatever he dropped. You see what has happened with the whole church? People say, hey, you see that church? If you go there, you have to expect, because this pastor is a pastor with a paintbrush. All right? This is a paintbrush pastor. And he's going to be painting everything. But the Child Protection Unit, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, caller.
Yes, good night again.
Yes, ma'am.
You see that same police officer? Just what he did there is what he accustomed doing. He accustomed taking bribes for big men to go and use the children on them. Good night.
And that is what I am afraid of. That is what I am afraid of, because we have an off-the-record testimony where an individual reported to the Child Protection Unit of an incident of abuse, and that individual would totally dissatisfied with the response. Added to that, there was also a teacher at one of these facilities who also made a report to the said unit. Welcome, caller. You miss it? To the said unit. And that teacher was also disappointed. So if we are now seeing that two men caught in a car and they had to be committing some offense in order for the officer to approach them and in order for them to pay the first $2,500. Right? Could we agree on that? They had to be doing something wrong, something illegal, in order to go to the ATM, withdraw the first $2,500 and pay this man. Right? They had to be doing something wrong. So good. So who knows? Who knows if this officer collect 143 different 2,500, sorry, or 5,000 to cover up any incident at any one of these homes? I don't know. But where I am hearing, and I know that there is corruption in every walk, don't feel me, that. But when I'm hearing, in light of what is happening now to these children in these homes, and this same Child Protection Unit is who have and who is charged with the responsibility to go to these homes and conduct investigation where they can bring the findings of what they have conducted to the attention of the Director of Public Prosecution in order to have people pay the price and face the court for abusing our children. We are now hearing that a member of the said Child Protection Unit who is charged with that responsibility allegedly going to take some kind of $2,500 and going back for 25 more. You see, again, ladies and gentlemen, Jacob and Hines dropped not only the ball, but it looked like they dropped the clothes. It looked like they dropped the pants and all. Because how long we are hearing that a government order cameras, body cameras for the police, where we could weed out and rake up and shovel out some of the trash that put on police clothes. Some of the trash that put on police clothes, and throw them by the side of the road. We have to hope somebody like these two gentlemen going to go and make a report in order for we to catch one who prepare to take money to cover up law breaking, to take money. Who knows? A lady called just now and she's convinced this cannot be the first time. It may very well be the first time he get catch, but it probably is not the first time. So when you have this kind of trash in police uniform, discrediting the real hard-working police officers, the real trustworthy police officers, the police officers who will stand up for law and order and ensure justice serve across the board. We now have to hope that it has some two men in some car doing something wrong in order to catch one who ought to be looking out for the safety of our children in these homes. You know what is a Child Protection Unit? I will consider the Child Protection Unit as one of the most sensitive units in the police service. I, Victor Roberts, will consider the Child Protection Unit as one of the most sensitive units in the police service. Let me tell you why. You think it is easy for an officer who have children and who have children around the same age bracket of those children who are being abused in these homes to go to these homes and probably take out and interview a little girl child or a little boy child that this same officer will have within his home with the same age, and after taking that child to the doctor and looking at the medical report that will comes from the doctor in relation to what damages these savage, nasty, wicked, dirty animals that we call men and women who perpetrate these acts against our children. When that officer would sit down and look at that medical, and when that officer go home and see his child, you could imagine the pain, the way in which he may very well be traumatized, the way in which he may want to act outside of the law to deal with these animals, where he will have to exercise that constraint, and where he will have to put his oath before himself in order to restrain himself from doing something illegal to bring about some kind of justice to that child. Once again, if it is his child, you think about that. All of you who sit in your homes and feel that your children safe, all of you who having your eyes on your children in the night and waking up and cracking the door and going and kiss them, mommy nice child and daddy nice boy, you're sleeping, and feel that they're safe, I will continue to tell you that these children who they are abusing will not stay in those homes forever. I want you to keep that in mind, and I want you to keep that in mind to cause you to act and to cause you to speak out, because these children, they will not remain in those homes forever. Let me tell you something. When these abused children hit the streets of Trinidad and Tobago, I want to tell you, because of the mental abuse and because of the psychological abuse within these children, because of the anger and the way in which these children who will now become adults may want to act and may want to believe that doing the same thing that these animals did to them, to do to somebody else, so that they will feel that they get some justice. I want to tell you here tonight that it could be your child next, and it could be my child next, and it could be anybody's child next. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this, people, not to get you scared or to get you frightened, you know. I'm telling you this so you will stand up and speak out and stand up for those children who are being abused where the government failed to act. Where the golfer, Mr. Golfer and Mrs. Golfer, and they put a hole and they clapping and they giving high five, where them fail to act. I am calling you, the people, to act, to save your child, to save my child, and to save the neighbor child. That is what I calling you to do, to act. And that is why I am telling you these things. These children won't stay there forever. These children is what you can consider to be damaged goods. Damaged goods physically and damaged goods from a psyche standpoint. So let me tell you something. You may very well rejoice when the same police turn around and kill one of these same children who may do to your child or to my child what some animal did to them, and we will feel justified. But we are not, you and I, we are not going to stand up and speak out and to ensure that the real criminals to that child, that will cause that child to interfere with your child, the real criminals is the cause of the action of that child who comes out of that home and may very well abuse your child or my child. We not standing up for that. We will settle for the child now. We will settle for the child. Commit the act and the police kill that child. And we good. But we will leave the nasty, stinking, wicked dogs and them to interfere with somebody else's child. That will cause somebody else's child to do the same thing that this child do. Who may very well come to your home. Who may very well drive a car and take up your child. We will leave that and satisfy with that child paying the price. While those who are responsible for that child committing that act, we did nothing. We did nothing to ensure that those animals are behind bars. You Trinidad and Tobago, you Trinidad and Tobago, you mothers, you parents, you fathers, grandmothers, you did absolutely nothing to save those children. But when it reached home by you, you will be the first to be on the headlines and ask, what kind of animal could do this to my child? So what kind of animal that is doing that to them children in the home? You ain't studying that. That is not important. You see, that is Trinidad and Tobago mentality, you know. We allow rowdy them to do what they want, and then we blame the neighbor for thieving your fig. We allow rowdy and them to fire everybody from Petrotrin, TSTT, WASA. And when the neighbor thief your fig, you call the police and you lock up the neighbor. Because he thief the fig. But you're not looking who caused him to thief the fig. You know who caused him to thief the fig? Your government. Because your government fired them. Your government closed down Petrotrin. Your government did all that to save a financier. So you ain't studying what he did. You ain't studying what the government did. You're studying what your neighbor do. The neighbor thief my fig. Put the neighbor in jail. But you know what happened? Somebody else come and thief the fig plant. Somebody else come and thief the plant. So you end up with no fig, and then you end up with no fig tree because somebody else going with the plant. You know why? That is the cause and the effects. The cause and the effects is something that we have to pay attention to. So who caused these children to be brutal so? You know who? Your high-ranking government officials. You know who? The big, strong, ugly, short, stocky Rasta man. But Oli will never jump out, and the man, we know who is that. Oli will never demand, we know who is that. You know why? Oli don't want to interfere with all the party. Oli don't want to interfere with all the party, that we boys. We can make we boys look bad. But we boys damaging other boys, damaging other girls, underage. But Oli ain't concerned about that. But let me tell you something. If all you continue so, the damage will reach home by all you know. The damage will reach home by all you. Trust what I'm telling all you. The damage will reach. Because all you want to sit down. All you don't want to speak out against a government who did nothing for 6 whole months after receiving this Judith Jones report. 6 whole months. Was it a case to give those colleagues the opportunity to clean up their act? Was that the case? Was it a case that we know who is the players and we had to call them out and say, hey boy, this thing exposed, I'll dress back, get arrest, feed somewhere else? It all the homeless boys all about on the street and homeless girls all about. Pick them up, enjoy yourself with them. Was that the case? Whatever the case was for hiding that report, you the people in this country, you the people of this country, you are guilty just as those sick individuals who continue to rape and bugger and abuse and burn and destroy these children psyche and destroy them, abuse them in every form. You guilty the same way. Don't turn your face and feel that the guilt will go away. You guilty the same way because you did nothing. I want to again congratulate the 102 or 103 people who came out a couple Mondays ago, who I never knew before, and who I met there waiting to accompany me to drop that Judith Jones abuse report to the U.S. Embassy and to the United Nations. And I want to thank the United Nations for also responding in a timely manner. I am still awaiting the U.S. Embassy, and I am going to do a follow-up letter to the U.S. Embassy just in case the security guard who collect the document, just in case there is a member of the pedophile ring to throw it away. I don't know. Just in case, I don't know. I am going to do a follow-up letter addressed directly to the ambassador. That is what I'm going to do this week. That is what I'm going to do. Because I had the same hiccup by the UN, you know. I had the hiccup by the UN until they open the gate for somebody to come in and I go on into. You know what? I done there already. You know what we had to do? While I was inside there, somebody called the UN who was outside. Somebody called the UN in the United States of America. And that is where the instruction came to take that report immediately. That is where it came from. You feel it come from right here? You feel it come from right here? After the guard took the letter inside and she came back out to collect the package, a call was made, and then she came back and tell us they now get instructions not to receive the package. And I know that that package was not leaving there. It's either I and the package go to prison, or the package go where it's supposed to go, and then I go to my home. But I had prepared together with Senator David Naked to stay there for the rest of the week. We were prepared, and the supporters who came with us, they said that they would stay there night on day until the voice of these children, are heard. That is what we plan to do, while others was calling Aruba and calling other areas until someone get you to the US. So don't feel that is an easy bed of roses. Don't feel the police didn't come to drag me out. Don't feel when the police say, Roberts, you have to go out. I didn't tell them, well, the only so I leaving here is in handcuff. You feel like afraid that? You feel like afraid that? But I will stand up for what is right in this country, even if it costs my life. They shoot me already and that didn't stop me. What if you go stop me? 5 police, 4 police, 3 police come and say, come out the compound. You feel like go stop Victor Roberts? Or they making joke? Or they making joke? There is something in this country, Trinidad and Tobago, or they better make up on their mind to be arrested for. Or they better make up on their mind to be arrested for the democracy. Make up on their mind to be arrested to defend on the Constitution. Be real men. Don't be manicu man, because there are plenty manicu man and I know some of them. Be real men. Stand up. Rise to the challenge. Rise to the occasion. This is children. This is children. If a man and a man want to do what they want to do, that's their business, you know. A woman and a woman want to do what they want to do, that's their business too. But as a year, you want to force your nasty, stinking, dirty ways on one of them children underage, then we have a problem. Then we have a serious problem. This will never go away with me. I don't care who gets fed up of hearing it. I don't care who don't want to hear it. Turn off all your phone. Turn off your TV. I don't care who want to hear it. But this will never go away with me. Never. Until justice come to these children. This is no easy bed of roses, you know. This is no game player, you know. This have to be a game changer. Let these wicked, savage animals go and look for man who could defend themselves. Look for woman who could defend themselves. Not these little children who done suffering already. Why think these children in these homes? You think these children in these homes because their mother and father love them? You think these children in these homes because their mother and father have a nice job? You think these children in these homes because their mother and father have a big 3-bedroom house? You think that why they're there? You think every week the mother come in and drop a nice hamper, a nice package and say, come my daughter, look, my son, hold that. Daddy love you, mommy love you. You feel like what's going on there? Them training 4 walls. Them within 4 walls. You hear Senator David Nackett tell you, when they asked the question, what Schoon said with a child who was abused, you know what they do? They move the child from this room downstairs and put the child upstairs. That's all the government do. They move the child from here and put it up there. What was the child protection role? What was the child protection role in that scenario? Let me tell you. I go help you. I ain't afraid to help you. I go help you. You know what was the child protection role in that situation? They were supposed to remove the child immediately from that environment, conduct an investigation, send the findings of that investigations to the director of public prosecution, the man who don't like to answer question. Send it to him. That was the child protection role. It wasn't to move the child from downstairs and put him upstairs, especially where the abuser is still there. That is what they did. They moved the child from downstairs and they graduate him. So he was taking abuse downstairs all the time. Well, go upstairs now and take some more abuse. That is what they did. And that is, you know what we did? We did nothing. We did absolutely nothing. And you know what we're doing today? We still ain't doing nothing. We just sit down and we just saying UNC activists, Victor Roberts, these nasty, dirty, stinking papers that have here that we call media. Why you believe that the media would have been publishing the story on a frontline basis? They wasn't studying that. They ain't studying that. Welcome, caller.
Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good day.
Good afternoon, Mr. Roberts.
Good day, good day, good day.
On top of all this drama here that's going on, you know what is the most painful part about it? It is a state-run pedophile ring. State-sponsored, state protection, state this. This is not a little man running around like that and doing things inside her. This is the state part. And this was called, this will call every world organization to friendly. Because it's a government running this thing. What to that? I think a little TikTok, we can start to go up somewhere, you know. Have a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much, caller. This is how it was supposed to work. That child was to be removed immediately. Let me tell you something, parents. Let me tell you something. If your little child should leave your home and go to the police station and say, I come to make a report. My father touching me where he not supposed to touch me and I can't take it no more. You know what's going to happen immediately? You know what's going to happen immediately? you would not see that little child back home for that night. That child will be removed. An investigation would be done. And if after the conclusion they realize the child lied, they come by you, they bring back your child, you can now have the option to say, you see this child have to go in a home, because watch the embarrassment this child, and everybody watching my husband as this, and everybody watching my husband as that, and everybody watching my husband as the other. A man called me the other day when I say, Omar will get 4 or 5 belt on that bottom. Because he get it already. Joshua get it too. You feel Joshua never get it? Joshua get it too. Joshua life for me already. And watch. That bottom you have to bend over. And you have to get 5 good belts. And I will explain to him why he must not lie for his father. I will explain to him. Because you see, if I doesn't train them not to lie, and they come home and they tell me, Daddy, the teacher touched me here and the teacher squeezed me there. Poor humble servant in problems. I in problems. So I just teach them early not to do like the Attorney General. Don't forget, don't joke lie. Don't make no joke with me with lie. You're making a joke, just make a joke and see if you can get me to laugh. But don't make no joke lie with me. As it realizes that joke lie, you won't get 5 but you'll get 3, because I want to remind you, your joke lie is still a lie, so take 3. But that is the child protection role. The child protection unit is to protect the child. Once there's any allegation of that kind of abuse, the child protection unit have to kick in high gear immediately. And don't vex with them when they come. I saw a child on Facebook this week and saying that, look, my father want me to sleep on the same bed with him, and my father wanted this and my father wanted that, but I go push this in him. You see this? And some people laughing on Facebook. Here's some idiots. Daddy mind the thing now, daddy want the thing, and I pack a dotish, idiotic, dotish statement with seriousness. One pack a dotish statement on Facebook. A whole line of idiots. You know what is the child protection role upon seeing that? The child protection role is to find that child and investigate. Let me give you this. douglAR Politics and others help some people to build a home in Konopia. douglAR Politics and others help a family. We saw a social media post where this family living under a 2 sheet of galvanized, a piece of sheet, a piece of carrot, and something else. We saw that. When we saw that here at douglAR Politics, after a discussion, well, let me back up first, before the discussion. When we saw that, I take 2 of my children and my wife. I say, we're going to look for this. And we leave Palosico and we journey to Konopia. And by the time we ask 1 or 2 questions, some people tell me, yeah, go down inside, David told me trace. I didn't know the trace then, I know it now. And then, so I going down in David Toby Trace. When I reach a certain place, I say, see this David Toby Trace here? I don't have the PNM waiting to kill me down in the back here, not me. So, I stop by a house. I ask the people them a question. They say, yeah, somewhere quite down, you know, you have to go down. I ask my family, what they say? They say, boy, let we go. We moving here by ourselves. We moving here with God. I say, right. I put the vehicle in drive and we gone. Anyhow, we find the people. When we see where them people and them stay in, let me tell you something. But we walk with some food stuff. At the same time when we was going, we walk with some food stuff. So when we reached there and we saw where these folks stay, we take out the food stuff and thing, well, them little children, like they see Santa Claus, they start to run. And they running to meet me and to tell me nothing, you know, they're running for the bag. The bag and the soft drink, and that's what they're running for, you know why? Because they understand what it means to be hungry. You know, Sparrow sing a song, the Congo man, how he was hungry. Well, this children was hungry. And these children had a bus biscuit and eat and drink, drink hot. And so, I do a little video, and we had a little discussion, a douglAR politics discussion. And douglAR politics decide, right, we're going to assist. So, we had a laser up there. He also said that this man want to assist. And I can't call the man name because he told me not to call his name. He will assist, and this person would assist with that and so on. And we put the thing together. And we build this little house for the people. Set it up, everything. Toilet, that. Some people from away send some appliances and so on. You understand? For them, and thing happen. Let me tell you something. You know, we reach there today, and tomorrow the child protection unit was there. You know, the child protection unit removed the children from there. And it so happened that our uncle came about and said that he will take responsibility while the place bill and thing, and ensure that they eat, drink, and they go to school. Well, we didn't have school then. COVID was inside. You know, the child protection unit was there on the button to remove the children. But this was a case where it was mentally abused. But it wasn't the children alone. The father too. Because he and three of them. Mommy gone somewhere. So he and three of them was there. So they were under that strain. But the point I'm making, the child protection unit was efficient in taking and removing them children and them from there. Removing them from the environment. How come in this particular home, where this child was abused, the child protection unit did not move in and remove that child from that environment? The child was moved from downstairs, where the abuse took place, to upstairs, where the abuse continued. And why I say the abuse continued? Because the perpetrator was still present within the surroundings, working there, and even probably making reservation for others to come there and have fun time with these children. But we read now about an officer in the child protection unit who caught two men in a car, whether they was playing Romy or All Fours, wherever they was playing. But he decided, allegedly, to take our money, $2.5 today, escort them to the ATM, collect 2.5 and go on back to collect the next 2.5 and get locked up. Child Protection Unit. Is that the case why we cannot hold and lock up anybody on this pedophile or pedophile ring? The report stated that this pedophile ring existing for years. The pedophile ring not only existing from 2015, you know. This is a ring that exists for years. And if you don't believe me, Ken Valley, I think had some information that he might be able to share with earlier. For years. How come? How come? With all this 140 plus children on record as being abused, how come to date we cannot arrest one member, just one member of this pedophile ring? How come? But the Child Protection Unit exists. The Child Protection Unit will tell you that they are efficient. The Child Protection Unit will tell you that is dedicated, hard-working officers until this week when we realize that it has some not dedicated and they ain't hard-working. Until this week we learned that. We learned that this week. Early this week we learned that. But the fact remains, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains is how come we cannot lock up any individual, not one individual, who have been committing these acts against children for years. We cannot lock up one with the whole of the police service we have. Forget the Child Protection Unit. We have CID, we have intelligence, we have task force, we have organized crime and narcotics and firearm, we have special branch, we have detective, we have everything. We have equipment, whether it's Pegasus or whether it's whatever from Israel, we have it. How come we cannot arrest one pedophile member, just one? How come? Welcome, Kola. Welcome, Kola.
Hello.
Yes, Kola, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, I'm hearing you talking about Ken Valley. He's dead.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
How come we can't arrest one pedophile? One, just one. How come? I mean, you want to ask yourself a question. And Kola, this is a nice question that you could ask yourself also. How come after all these years, we have a report with state where we have over 143? How come after all these years, we cannot arrest one perpetrator, just one? After all these years, we have the evidence, you know. The evidence show you where children burn, buggered, damage, parts tear up, bust up, all the evidence there. So who is committing these acts? Is it Casper? Well, it cannot be Casper because Casper is a friendly ghost. So it can't be Casper, but we cannot arrest one individual. My question is why?
A code, a Mafia code. We keep each other's secret. It's only
Look the answer there, Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, I'm laughing, you know. But look the answer there. When you have a prime minister who is also an alleged associate. Welcome, caller. Welcome, caller. Caller, you have to listen on your phone if you want to talk. Let me go actually. That caller ain't ready to talk yet.
Good night.
Good night, caller.
Hello.
Yes, caller, we hearing you.
General, you know why you can't get nobody? By the Mafia ring, by the Costa Nostra. The violence we expect.
Yes,
So
I
the whole
agree.
man that's secret.
I agree.
So nobody can get catch.
Because
People
caller,
from outside to come and solve that.
caller, all these years and they cannot lock up one person.
And tell keep up the good book.
Thank you, caller.
And I wanted to bring market on the program at night.
Okay, that will do.
A code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secret.
And that is the problem. And let me tell you what make this statement real and what make this statement a fulfilling statement. This Prime Minister have appointed into position the people who he needs to do his bidding. Let me say it again. This Prime Minister have appointed in position the people that he needs to do his bidding. And these individuals, they are paid very hefty sums. Whether by way of 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 state boards, that they collect a hefty sum when the month come, together with their normal kakada. Every position where we ought to have something happening, it is all tied down or contaminated. The only position that I believe we would have been able to get some traction, that position is in limbo, and that position is a commissioner of police who will not allow him or herself to be attached to the political directorate. But once you have, you see, plenty people doesn't understand how this thing work, you know. You feel when a constable in Santa Flora go out on an investigation and discover something, waiting this happen, he come back in the station, write up the station diary, do up his statement and thing, and he sent it by the DPP. It don't work like that, you know. It don't work like that. There's a process that had to go through. It have a process. And that process can also be a dangerous process. Welcome, caller. That process could also be a dangerous process. That don't just leave from here and go by DPP, you know. That had to go through the channel, straight up the senior sub channel. Senior sub had to make calls too, you know. And you will hear, boy, this is a sensitive thing, you know. Let we contact the line minister, you know. Well, everything fall along right there. Everything fall along there. Boy, this is a serious thing here, you know. Let we have to contact the line minister with this before we go forward, you know. Or they don't know how the game does play. Or they don't know how the game does play when it have contamination. Once there is contamination inside there, the game does play different. You want me to show you how different the game does play? Let me read something here for you. I'm going to read something here for you. Let me show you how different the game does play. Take it. Welcome, caller. Caller, go ahead. We're hearing you.
Good night.
Yeah, caller. Good night. Go ahead.
Mr. Robert?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. We're hearing you. Yes.
Okay, hold on.
So let me read something here for all you, caller. Right, I'm holding on for this man here. July 29, 2022, media release. SRP officer charged with assault and robbery offenses. A special reserve police officer is expected to appear before a justice of the peace today, charged with common assault and robbery with violence which occurred on Sunday the 24th of July 2022. Right, so that happened on the 24th. Number 9168 PC Duvan Campbell, 41, last attached to the Orapuch police station, was also charged with demanding money by menace, following advice received from the Director of Public Prosecution, Roger Gaspard, Senior Counsel, on Thursday, the 28th of July, 2022. So, let me just read all the story. So, you all get a drift for what's going on here. A female victim reported to the Office of the Professional Standard Bureau that she was at the accused address on Sunday, the 24th of July, 2022, when they got into a heated altercation. During the incident, the accused allegedly physically assaulted the victim and took a quantity of cash and jewelry from her possession. He is then alleged to have pointed his licensed firearm at her face and tried to put it in her mouth. He also allegedly demanded that she give him a quantity of cash. An investigation was launched into the matter, and officers of the Professional Standard Bureau conducted an exercise spearheaded by Woman Senior Superintendent Suzette Martin on Wednesday, the 27th of July, 2022. During the exercise, the accused was arrested. Campbell was charged by WPC Francis, also of the PSB, on Thursday, the 28th of July, 2022. And of course, the said Sia company photo, and his photo is also here, right? Now, the point I'm making coming out of all this is that this happened on the 24th. 4 days later, the Director of Public Prosecution gave instructions. But listen this. Within that 4-day period, a report was made. I'll show you how fast it happened. A report was made. The Professional Standard conducted the inquiry, and on the 27th, they acted. On the 28th, Campbell was charged after advice from the DPP was forthcoming. So we're looking at just about a day. Just about a day, and the DPP give advice, charge he. And what charge to charge him with? Listen, extortion, demanding money by violence or by being a menace, all kind of big charge, sorry. But listen to the point I'm making. In a matter of a day, the DPP gave advice. He charged. He before the court. I want to ask the DPP, what happened to Camille Robinson-Regis investigation? I want to ask the DPP, what happened to Camille Robinson-Regis investigation? I want to ask the DPP, what has happened to the alleged Faris Alwari children investigation? I want to ask the DPP, what is the status of the Foster Cummins investigation? I want to ask the DPP, haven't the Anti-Corruption Bureau turned over the file yet that Jacob said he sent there in relation to Rowley misbehaving in public office? But guess what? The little police boy on the side of the road, advice could come in a matter a day. But guess what? high government officials with the advice. Where is the advice, Mr. DPP Roger Gaspard? Where is the advice for all these investigations that is lingering from back 2016 to now? Where's the investigations? A child protection policeman catch 2 men in a car, and guess what? He done the advice what to charge the man with already. Advice done gone by the DPP already for he to be charged. But all the high-ranking officials, all the members of the pedophile ring, all the members of government who in mass corruption, all those who in the judiciary, those in the law association, those in the business sector, those on Westmoreland, warm to them. Warm to them. But guess what? This policeman take away some jewels, allegedly. Who knows? He and all maybe buy the same jewels he take away. I don't know. I don't know. But the fact remains is, advice came. Charges were preferred. But what happened to them big boys? One man get hold with 27 gun and hand over he licensed firearm to his partner. His partner was remanded in custody. He walk in the streets with a hungry 100,000 bail. You know the man I'm talking about? Rowdy partner, Damian Ling. Walking free. What happened to the individual investigation? What happened to that file? Gary Griffith say, hey, we just waiting for this man to come here, and I said, we tap all the loose end already. What happened to the vigilant file? As I said that, I remember I had to go down San Francisco. What happened to that file? What happened to email sheep pen? What happened to Rowley email sheep pen in Tobago? What happened with Rowley partner who get a contract to pave a little piece of road from here to there for $5 million or how much $1 million? All you forget all that already? What about the 400,000 the skunk that Rowley say he get from his partner? What about the skunk for your family? When he say he's a negotiator, I saw a picture they call negotiator already. Well, Rowley had to be better than he. But what happened with all them files? What happened with all them investigation? That is the seriousness, Trinidad and Tobago. What happened to all this investigation?
A code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secret.
You see it? Actually, I feel it here, you know. I feel I don't give them it again. Let it soak in a little bit. I feel it really here yet.
A code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secret. It's only when you break rank, you go there and expose us, and for that, we're going to kill you politically. It's the code of the Cosa Nostra.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if all you're taking this thing serious. That is why today we cannot lock up one individual in that pedophile ring who is high-ranking officials in and out of government, because we keep each other secret. The reason why Foster Cummins file, that special branch file, was rest down from 2019, and is until somebody leaked it. And on top of that, Jacob and all of those individuals, they were not interested about the file, you know. They were interested about the leak. Them want to know who leaked it. Them wasn't concerned about the file. They was concerned who leaked the file. A dreaded file like that. They was only concerned about who leaked it. You know why? Because they keep each other secret.
Them going to court to try and shut up Jayanti.
You know
Right,
why?
and talking about whistleblowing, but they going to court to make the lady shut up.
All you understand what she say? They speaks about the whistleblowing legislation. They speak about it. And how the opposition don't want to support it. And the opposition this and the opposition that. You know when the whistle blow and one of them high-ranking cabinet official jump out, Foster Cummins jump out in the bacchanal. You hear what they do? They went to court to file an injunction.
And when they don't get through in court, what did it do with whistleblower? When they don't get through in court,
They
tell
just
me
want to
what they just
eliminate
do.
them? They just want to eliminate the whistleblower?
Who is Samaru?
You see what I mean? Or they know who is Samaru? Well, let me tell you who is Samaru. Officer Samaru was the army official who was tied up in that alleged Faris Alwari children matter. You know who he is?
Who is Dillian Johnson?
I will tell you who is Dillian Johnson. Dillian Johnson is an individual who is in the UK at this time seeking asylum simply because Dillian Johnson, they tried to kill him when he exposed a serious piece of allegation allegedly involving the Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago.
What happened to the whistleblower in the Sadiq Bash cocaine?
The whistleblower in the Sadiq Bash cocaine and mortar bomb tank. That individual was an individual by the name of Vernon Paul, better known as Preacher. Vernon Paul came to the then acting PNM Commissioner of Police and exposed the Sadiq Bash. Welcome, caller. Go ahead.
Hi, good night, Mr. Roberts.
Yes,
and to
Mr.
Mr. Archie
Marcus,
and
good
to
night.
everybody out here. We must never forget the next whistleblower from Angostura.
Good.
When she blew the whistle on Rob Balgobin.
Yes.
I mean, it's public knowledge. You can call it him.
Yep.
And they ended up firing the lady.
Yep. Correct.
Yes, they ended up firing her. And the person, I think is, I can't remember his name right now, was somebody who they hired to do the investigation. You understand? They did not even interview the woman properly. They did not do it. And they ended up firing her. They don't care about whistleblowing in this country. And as you all rightly say, what happened to Mr. Samaru? What happened to the other fella? I can't remember, but I know his surname is Mark. You understand? Who had that thing with the tape with Paris?
Yeah.
And when he tried to give it to Paris at somebody's funeral, I think it was Mahabe's funeral, what Paris did to the man. And then all of a sudden we hear the man died when he was in witness protection. He was poisoned. How did that happen? This country real sick. You hear? It's real sick. It's me. I don't know how many baptism it's supposed to have to heal this country. Take care and have a good night.
Thank you, ma'am. So Vernon Paul was executed because Vernon Paul exposed from a prime minister. Listen, man, you know. Vernon Paul exposed from a prime minister come down into that Sadiq Bash conspiracy with that mortar bomb and the cocaine that was found in Sadiq Bash tank. He came and speak to someone like Jacob, a acting commissioner of police who was appointed by the PNM. And that acting commissioner tell Paul, you're not safe here. You're not safe. Go back down the road. We will come down and get the information. And poor Paul didn't know that that would have been his last flight to Caracas as he came out the plane and entered into a vehicle. Two motorbike men run side the vehicle and Vernon Paul was no more.
I'm to Nicole Oliveri.
Nicole Olivier was the individual who allowed this massive investigation in relation to fake oil. Nicole Olivier while she was, according to Rowley, the young, bright future in energy, and while she was in NGC, and she was a good friend to Keith Rowley, a very good friend, allegedly, to Keith Rowley. You know what happened? She went to one of those small islands, and while she was there, and the mark bus with fake oil, she was hatchet from the back of the neck, come forward. And today, poor Nicole Olivier, sorry for your girl. That is what the man mean.
Why the two boys who escaped from the children home had to die? Why they had to die?
Let me tell you why the two boys who escaped from the children home die, Trinidad and Tobago. He dies simply because they have identified one of the key player in the pedophile ring. The short, stocky, ugly, short dreadlocks man that nobody cannot identify. And I am asking the authorities, please bring in Scotland Yard to do the investigation, and we will find answers. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Good night.
A code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secret. It's only when you break rank, you go there and expose us, and for that, we're going to kill you politically. It's the code of the Cosa Nostra. As long as we stay together, we will survive together. And we agree not to breach the code of secrecy. A code, a mafiosi code. We keep each other's secret. It's only when you break rank, you go there and expose us, and for that, we're going to kill you politically. It's the code of the Cosa Nostra. As long as we stay together, we will survive together. And we agree not to breach the code of secrecy.